Howdy y'all, welcome to Hazenboro Craftworks. I'm the Alchemist. And we're in that transition week here where you've got a little bit of March and you got a little bit of April. And for April, I wanted to focus on one of my favorite mainstream distilleries, and that's Jack Daniel's. But it's not really quite April yet, and it's really not really all March anymore either. So I had an idea. For today's video, I'm going to focus on a buddy of mine who also likes alchemy as much as I do, and that's Break Alchemy. I don't know if any of y'all have seen him on TikTok at all, but he does some fun experiments that I like to follow, and well, I also like to taste. So I contact him whenever I see one of his videos where he's doing one of his experiments, and I try to reserve myself a bottle to make sure I can get one. And boy, his Christmas experiment and then his second experiment after that were fantastic. And so for his Christmas experiment, he did a Kraken barrel with Old Forester. So he did the Old Forester 86 proof, and he had aged some Kraken in that barrel, and it wasn't a huge barrel. I think it was like a 10, probably like a 10 gallon, somewhere around there. And then after that, he dumped the Kraken out and he put Old Forester 86 proof to fill that barrel up. And then he aged it for the 25 days of Christmas. And this one turned out to be, for myself, I think a really good experiment. Some nice alchemy going on there. And I don't know if any of y'all watch Break Alchemy, but I sure recommend that you tune into his alchemy projects to watch what's going on there, because he does some really fun stuff. And I'll get a close-up picture of this in the video so you can see that bottle. He's got some fun labels there too. And then after that, what he did is he threw some Buffalo Trace in there. So now he's got some Buffalo Kraken as well. And the Buffalo Trace is 90 proof. And so we got a little bit more proof on this one. But as you can imagine, little bit less Kraken on that, because he didn't put any more Kraken in that barrel, if I'm not mistaken. And Break Alchemy, if you're watching this one, put in the comments if I'm right on that, because I don't want to misrepresent any of your fun experiments, because I really love your experiments. And I'll get a close-up of this bottle too, so you can see that label, because I really love his labels and what he does here too. I don't want to misrepresent anything. But these bottles are both quite good. I don't know if you can see the color, but the color is pretty equivalent on there for both of these. Again, this is the Christmas Kraken with the Old Forester 86 in it. Oh, the first thing I did, even before it got right up to my nose, is there's a nice molasses sweetness in there. I have to say, I still get a little bit of that Old Forester. When I get Old Forester, for me, the 86 proof isn't quite as strong as some of the other offerings that I get from Old Forester on the barrel spice, but I do get a little bit of that Old Forester barrel and barrel spice on this, just a hint, but not a lot. But the nicest smell is that rich molasses sweetness on there. Boy, that's nice. Really enhances that Old Forester 86. Oh, that's nice. Let's go in for a sip. Oh my. the flavor on this. A nice, deep, rich, sweet profile that's thinned out a little bit by the Old Forester 86. But then across the palate, I mean the entire palate, you get that sweetness that it just hits you at the tip of the tongue on the Kentucky Chew, and then it spreads out across the entire palate. And then on the back of the palate, I'm getting that sweetness, but I'm getting some a hint of the barrel spices, and then a nice finish in the back of the palate of just a hint of barrel. The barrel's not super strong, but you get a hint of that barrel. And then those Old Forester barrel spices that I usually get. And they're not as strong, but what I really love about this, is that Kraken molasses. And I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with Kraken. I might even have a bottle up here somewhere. Well, maybe not. I thought I usually had a bottle of Kraken. I guess we polished that one off. I guess we did. My wife and I are, my beautiful bride and I are Kraken fans, so it doesn't surprise me that we polished that one off. Well, that's good. But now let's compare it to the Buffalo Kraken here. And it wouldn't surprise me if that deep molasses is a little bit less on this one, because if I'm not mistaken, no more Kraken was added to the barrel. The Buffalo Trace was just put in afterwards. And again, Break Alchemy, if you're watching these, please put in the comments if I'm correct or not, because I don't want to misrepresent what you've done, because I love your experiments. And I think I'm right, because I do get a molasses sweetness on this, but it's not as bold as the Old Forester, the Christmas Kraken. But it's on here and it's delightful. But I do get a little bit more the Buffalo Trace to me is more pronounced on this one. And it's a very nice combination of that Kraken and Buffalo Trace bourbon. You get more barrel spice. And the reason I really like this one is, and I'm not saying I don't like this one. This one is delightful. I'd take a few more bottles if you had them left, but they sell out right away. But what's delightful about this one is that combination. You get that hint of that Kraken sweet molasses, but you also get that Buffalo Trace sweetness in there. It doesn't quite come through like the caramel I'm used to when I have a Buffalo Trace, but it's a nice bourbon sweetness. But I also get that Buffalo Trace barrel and barrel spices a little stronger, and I get some cinnamon on the nose, and I like that combination in here. Okay, now on the palate, even though the difference in proof is slight, just a touch of heat. Not a lot, just a touch. I get a little bit more viscosity on this one, and I love that. And that combination of sweetness on this one is nice. I get more barrel on the finish of this one. And any of y'all who watch me at all, you know that I love my barrel on a whiskey, on a bourbon. This one is a delightful combination. So for myself, Break Alchemy, what a fantastic job on both of these Alchemy projects. I love them, and I cannot wait for your next one. And y'all, I'm gonna toss in the description of this video the link to his next Alchemy project, and I'm incredibly excited for it because my beautiful bride, for any of y'all who watch me know, and any of y'all who are new, my beautiful bride's not so much of a bourbon lover, although she has a great nose. So she does nose these for me, and I love to compare my nose to her nose, because I can sit and I can nose a bourbon for so long before I even start to drink it, like 30, 45 minutes before I even start to drink. And when I sit at home to decompress after a day, one pour, ounce and a half of bourbon or whiskey takes me a healthy 3 hours to finish. So it's just an experience for me. But this next project of Break Alchemy, I'm going to put the link in. Please go to it and watch, because this is something that my beautiful bride will even enjoy. So I'm very excited for it. So I hope you all go to watch it, and even check it out, and even buy a bottle of this one, because they do sell out fast. So if you're interested, you got to get in there quick. But his projects, his Alchemy projects, are fantastic. And as y'all know, I love to have y'all coming back around. So please take it easy. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.